Hello everyone, my name is Oscar. I'm the teacher of ICT or Information and Communication Technology. My channel helps the viewers to increase their ICT knowledge and skills. This is the class 6, this is senior 6 classes, and the first unit is database design. The first lesson is database models. We are going to discuss about the different models of a database. Before defining a database model, let us understand what is data. What do you understand by the term data? Data refers to a collection of facts such as numbers like 5, 10 and so on, words or just the letters, either uppercase letters or lowercase letters, the symbols which are used when someone is writing a text for the purpose of describing something, just a description of things. So after understanding what data is, now we can define what a database is. A database refers to organized data which is stored electronically, or just data which is stored within a database objects, so that it is easy for the user to access such stored data anytime he or she wants, or simply to update that data. Now, what is a model? The term model means something which is not real. So it's a kind of a representation. You can represent something by using a drawing for the purpose of showing how something looks like or how it works. So a model is a representation of something, how something works or how something looks like. Now, what is a data model or a database model? A database model shows the logical structure of a database, including relationships and constraints. As I have told you, a database has objects. Example of a database object is a table. Now, when we say logical structure of a database, means how the tables of a given database have been defined. As we have many tables within a given database, we should also have many relationships. Relationship refers to association among the tables. It means that we have the tables and the records or the rows of one table are linked to other records of another table. So we have some examples of database models like relational database model, hierarchical database model, network database model, object-oriented database model, and so on. We are going to discuss each database model later. Let's start by a relational model. What is a relational model? A relational model is a way of organizing data in a database into tables or relations. In this unity of database design, keep in mind that a table or a relation are the same. And also there is a big difference between a relation and a relationship, because a relationship is created among two or many tables. A relation by definition is a table. What is a table? A table has the rows and the columns. And the intersection of a row and a column is what we call a data set. That is where the value, the data is stored. So a table by definition is a collection of related data which is organized into tables. And keep in mind that every table has a given number of rows and a given number of columns. Columns are also called attributes or fields. You can use one of those three terms. You can say column names or attribute names or field names. So each column has the specific name. Rows, the table rows are also called records or tuples. What is a domain? Remember that each table consists of columns and rows, where each column has its specific name, and the intersection of a column and a row, that is whatever we call a data set. It means that depending on data type given to a column name, there is a set of values that can be stored within those cells, those table cells, or intersection of table columns and table rows. So a domain refers to a set of values that can be stored in a column of a table. What is a primary key? Remember that within a database we have many tables, and each table has many columns. The number of columns of a given table, that is what is called a degree of a table. So, a primary key should be a single column or a group of columns whose values or data stored within that column or columns uniquely identify each record. That is what we call a primary key. And keep in mind that a primary key is selected from the candidate keys, and also a primary key does not accept duplicated value, and this one also does not accept a null value. A null value in the database concept is not zero, so it is an empty cell, a cell without the specific value. What is a foreign key? Remember that we are talking about relational database model. This means that this database consists of many tables which are related one to another. So to create a relationship between two or more tables, we must have the two constraints, the primary key constraint and a foreign key constraint. So a primary key refers to a column or a group of columns that uniquely identify each record within a given table. Whenever a foreign key is another column in a separate table whose values are the same as the values which are found within the primary key of the first table. So this means that a primary key points to the primary key of another table. So one or group of attributes are chosen to be primary key, or foreign key, referring to other tables. So before creating a relationship among the tables, we have to choose the primary key from one table and the foreign key of another table so that the relationship is created. So here we have an example of a table that we are going to observe and try to identify all the elements of a database table. First of all, our table must have the name. Let us call it, for example, student, and it has also columns. Remember that columns are also called attributes or fields. So here we have a column which is called leg number and which is also underlined. When a column or group of columns are underlined, they are immediately referred as the primary keys of that table. We have another column which is called the first name, and we have another column which is called the last name. We have another attribute or column which is called the sex, and we have another field or a column which is called the date of birth. So it means that this table has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, or in other words, the degree of this table is 5. Apart from the columns, we have also the records or the rows or tuples. So this is the first row where we have the following tuples, and the set of the tuples is called the record. Here also we have another record. This one is another record, and here also we have another record. So it means that our table has 3 records versus 5 columns. Now let us talk about the hierarchical model. This is another database model that we are going to discuss about. A hierarchical model organizes its data using a tree structure. So what is a tree structure? A tree structure is a structure where we have the root, or just the parent, and the child nodes. So the root of tree structure is the parent followed by the child nodes. But an hierarchical database model is characterized by the following characteristics. It should have many children nodes, or just children tables or relations. But each child node must have only one parent. So no no child node is allowed to have many parents. This means that in this hierarchical model, we have only parent and many children. So let us consider this example. Here we have the root, and the parent table or root table is called department. The fields or the attributes of this are department number, because for example at university there are many departments and each one has its own number to differentiate it from others. So we have number and the name. So the degree of table department is 2 because it has only 2 fields. And within a department, we should have students. At university, there are many departments. Each department has the specific number of students. The characteristics or the attributes of a table which is called the student are the following. Student ID. Every student must be given a number which uniquely identifies him or her from the others. And also we have student name, and also we have the type, the course this student in this department is taking. And apart from the student within a department, there are also the courses. So in every department, there are the specific courses which cannot be found in other departments. So the attributes of relational course are number, course number, we have course name, and we have unity. So within a department, we have also a professors or lecturers, where every lecturer is identified by or is characterized by ID and the name. So in other words, this is a database model where we have the root, where we have only one root, and also these are the children tables, and you see that every table here has one and only one parent. So this is what we call a hierarchical database model. We have also a network model, and the network model is extension of a hierarchical database model, because in this model the type of relationship among the tables is many-to-many relationship. So a many-to-many relationship is a type of relationship where many records of one table are associated to many records of another table. Or simply we can say that a network model is a model for modeling entities. Entity is the same as table, but the term entity is used at the conceptual level whenever the term relation or table is used at a logical level. So network model is a model for modeling the entities in such a way that one child entity can have more than one parent entity. In other words, we can say that the main difference between a hierarchical model and a network model is that in this model, one entity can or should have many parents. Whenever in a hierarchical database model, only one entity must have one and only one parent. So here we have some tables or entities which are related. We have employee table, vendor table, customer table, product table, and sales or sales transaction table. So by looking at this figure, you see that there are some tables which have more than one parents. So the last database model is called object-oriented database model. So within this model, we have object and classes. In computer programming, we study what we call object-oriented programming language. So a programming language respects object-oriented concept if there is a way of defining, of creating objects, and the combination of those objects are also called the classes. So in object-oriented data model, data and their relationships are contained in a single structure which is referred as the object in this data model. In other words, we can say that an object-oriented data model is a combination of object-oriented programming as we know it in programming languages plus the features of relational database model. So we have an example of an object-oriented database model where we have the entities or the tables. For example, here we have a table which is called the student, and here we have also the functions. Because in object-oriented programming language we have classes, and it's like that. Here we have a class, here we have also another class, here we have another class, and here we have a class. A class is a combination of variables, like for example roll number and branch, together with the member functions. The member functions are those identifiers which have a pair of parentheses. So thank you for watching my video, and thank you for your attention. But subscribe on my YouTube channel, like, share and comments to support my channel. See you next time.